Hello, good morning. Good morning, good morning, Minister Tex. How are you? Are you hearing me?
Morning.
Yeah, I was trying to see if Minister Merle can get in, but she's having issues coming in. So I don't know.
Does she have an iPhone?
Yeah, she does.
Okay, so that's perfect. On the iPhone, it would not let you in. You have to go to your email on the iPhone. So John have to send the email to her, or you send it to her by
She
email.
already has it. Could you give her a quick call and see if she's going to pick it up? I think I sent you anyway, let's see. Okay, we're live right now. So
Text me her phone number.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are here this morning. It's a beautiful day. Things are happening all around the world and even with us. So as we come together today, this morning, to talk about issues in life that affects us, we will talk about our five senses. How does our five senses reflect in our spiritual and physical lives? So we're talking about the senses, and so let us get into the mood of what does the senses do to keep us going the way we are supposed to be going. In the meantime, we also have one of our members that we cannot pick her up online because she's Minister Merle. We're trying to see how we can get her in, and hopefully today we will accomplish a couple things well.
Nana, I was looking for you.
So as we talk about our senses, let's talk about the senses. We have touch, taste, hearing, feelings. How does that bring us spiritually in the realm of what we're doing today in our day to day, and how it's affecting what we do. So while we're doing that, we look at the Bible and how these senses play out. When the woman had a cruse of oil and she couldn't feed her kids and she thought she didn't have a way of living, when the mother made the 2 loaves that her son and herself could die, just eat it and die, God was in all of the things that we do. He is there, He is here, He's everywhere. He's here, He's there, and He's everywhere. So, when we speak to people, what do we say to them? What do we say? Our words are in the carnal, but it's also spiritual. How are we going to look at life in the spiritual with the words that God has given us? While we're waiting, Minister Tex, how does your senses play in the spiritual? We have five senses, six senses. How does your senses play in the natural and the physical?
Hmm. Let me see. Taste. How does taste feel? So in the physical, it's in the mouth.
Uh-huh.
So in the spiritual, is the same mouth with praise.
All right. You're
The
going,
other,
yes, you're along the line.
the other one is feelings. Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
How we feel in the physical is on the exterior, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes on the on in the interior.
Hmm.
On the exterior, we could sense the presence of God on our skin. We
Mm-hmm.
could talk about Him and literally feel Him hovering over us. In On the inside, we feel the joy and the excitement of what He is doing and what we are foreseeing. The other one is sight. In Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 7 thereof, he says, my thoughts are not yours. So he see the heart of man, we see the exterior of a man. So that's seeing. So how we experience the process of what he is doing it on the inside. We look at turbulence on the outside. That's seeing. What is the other one? Touch. So we talk on touch, we talk on taste, we talk
Yes.
on feelings. What's the other
Mm-hmm.
one? Hearing. I can hear you speaking. I can hear myself speaking physically. Spiritually, I can hear God speaking. And to hear God speaking, it comes from the innermost being of you, which is the spirit. So you hear on an internal hearing. Though sometimes she speak very loud and you can physically hear it on the outside, which is your ears, and you could see what he is doing if you make yourself see through your hearing. You can see what he is doing, and you could also hear what he's doing around you. When he uses an individual to bless you, you are physically seeing and hearing on the outside. When he is speaking to you, you hear from your core, you hear from your spirit. So you internalize that and says, my God, he's speaking. And you wonder, well, did you hear that? Did you hear that? But the other person can't hear because why he's speaking through your spirit sometimes. Those are the inner conversation that you and him have. That's because love is reciprocated between the both of you.
Exactly. We were made out of love. And the funny thing about it, when you sit down, we say, oh, yes, we could say this, that, or the other. But what we don't realize, the Spirit speaks before us in the spiritual, before we even express in the carnal, you know. And this is what the Word of God is saying. Like, I was saying to people, when you think about, what I think a problem with Christianity is this, and believers and unbelievers, especially when we're trying to, reap some new harvest for the Lord. People, when we speak biblically to them only, they don't get it. But when we put the physical in the spiritual in the physical realm, they get the message. It just throws itself over. You let them know. Guess what? This is what it's all about. This is how you do it. And they're able to come along and say, wait a minute. That's the same word that the Bible is talking about. But when we as his children interpret it, and this is where the Lord talks about us, how are we? Because he said each one of us, every single individual on this earth, is there to do what? To do what? To minister. We're not supposed to warm the benches, and we cannot get new believers in by sitting in the church. We got to get out there and find them. We got to look at the highways and the byways. So, Minister Tex, now that you're all over the place in Ontario, people are seeing you, and it's only a matter of time before they approach you to say, you know what? I see you come before, and I'm seeing you again. What are you doing it for? And there's your opportunity of witness. We have this program that is a Christian program, but it's all about how our lives are. And then you say to them, the Bible seems very difficult to people, but we are living what the Bible is saying in the natural, and it's trying to get that across to people. Sometimes when you say to them, like I was talking to someone he's in Florida, he has problem with his eyes, they cannot reach him, and we finally got in touch with him, and he said his eyes are so bad he can't even get outside, you know. So we started, Minister Merle and I had prayed for him the last time we were on. And hopefully today, I was talking to his daughter-in-law, and I said to her, I hope he answers the phone today, because she said, thank God we prayed, and the prayer really, really worked for her. So that's the goodness of God in us. He tells us about, like I have this book, redefining who is a minister. And each of us thinks that the minister is just the pastor. But each of us has a position within the ministry. They are not called to fail. Okay? So sometimes people do things that they're not supposed to be doing. They're not called to do it, but they do it. But, we cannot try to do the things that we're not called to do. But when you're called to do it, you do it perfectly.
Amen.
You do it in love, you do it in grace. You do it, it's a smooth delivery of everything that we do. So we have to get the harvest going. And in order to get the harvest for Christ, we have to live the Bible in the natural. Express to them, this is the same thing in the Word of God. So when you think of it says, when you think of your taste, okay, we get food. We give food. In charity, we give out food. And it's the grace of God in us, and the love of God in us that tells us, what? We've got to give the homeless food. We got to give the man on the street out there and a mother who needs a food basket. Because God inspires us to do these things as Christians. So, we look at it and we don't realize it seems simple, but it's so enormous when I think about it. When I think about it, it's really enormous, really and truly enormous. I look at touch. Sometimes you touch someone without touching them. You get close to them, and they feel your touch. The Spirit of God in you touches them, and I say, "Wait a minute." They realize your presence. They feel your presence. And sometimes the presence is nice, and sometimes the presence is really, it could be disturbing. But when you're doing the work of God, a child of God's presence is always welcome. Sometimes you walk next to a person and you call them and you get in touch with them and they say, "Oh my gosh, I was just thinking about you and I was hoping that you give, to give you a call." And you call them before. The Spirit of God already give you the inspiration to give them a call, because you have reached that point where you have that connection and, that relationship. And that connection is your relationship with God. The other thing, when we talk about feelings in the spiritual, feelings in the natural. We are actually spiritual beings living in a carnal body, in a carnal world, a natural world. So, it's a mighty big topic when you look at it. Like I would say to you, how do you get in touch in the natural and the spiritual? The spiritual is telling you, Minister Tex, go out there in the field and see what's outside there and represent me in that environment. And here you are. That's what you're doing now. You're in the spiritual you have a spiritual calling to go out into the natural world and make your presence known so that people will come to know you through what you're doing. And it's very touching. It's very touching. It's not always, you cannot always bring someone to Christ with the word, but you can use the word in the natural
Hmm.
to overcome the spiritual needs that the person has.
Yep.
So that's how we bless one another. You think of, taste, touch, and sight. You can see someone sometimes, and you right away know, Minister Tex, because of the Spirit of God in you. You're able to look at a person. Oh no, I think that person is in need. You know, you look at their body language. You look at the face. The expressions. And so God give us some amazing gifts in the body, as well as in the body of Christ, things that we do. So when you put each with those gifts that He's given us, to teach, to preach, to counsel, it's all part of that spiritual inflating the natural with every one of the senses that we have. A lot of people don't look at it this way, but when you look at it in the real true beauty of the holiness of God and how He created us, we see each and every bit of what God is trying to say. When He says to you, I cannot let them go hungry. I preach to them. They need to be fed. They are hungry at this point in time. He knows what our needs are. And we in the natural have to think about the spiritual with the natural, so that we can bring the solutions that are necessary out there in this world.
Hmm.
So when you think of COVID, what do you think of, from the spiritual to the natural?
Oh. One time I said something on COVID, and somebody called me from England, and they said, "No, you can't say that. What we have learned
Mm-hmm.
about COVID from the natural is disaster.
Yes.
You look at it through the lens of the spiritual, and you see God awake a lot of His children that is
Awake? He
storming."
didn't awake them. He made them jump. They realized that they had knees to pray. Okay, they realized that the mouth could still say words, God have mercy. They realized that the person, they realized that they're looking to see around and they see, oh, there's need for compassion. So
Hmm.
many different attributes came out of it. Yeah,
Yep.
So this is what, I have been examining the natural and the spiritual, and Minister Merle and I spoke about it a couple of times. And then when we thought about it, and there's so many scriptures for it. you
Hmm.
know one of the things I'm going to start doing, I have a community dateline page, and I'm going to put all the scriptures related to our programs, as many as people can, so that people, they can have an option as to which one. So if they go on my Facebook page, community dateline, we will start putting the scriptures on, so that it will be from that show, that date, and it will tell you, this is what we talked about, and these are the scriptures that align with it. Because
Hmm.
God's given us so many tools. Yesterday I was blessed, Minister Tex. I was so blessed. My ministry sent me a minister's package. I got a prayer Bible. No, I got a healing Bible. I got the prayer Bible, and I have another one. I forgot the other one that's inside there. But not only that, they sent me a lot of books, like redefining who a minister is, about God's abundance, how to live in God's abundance. I got 13 books,
Wow.
a package. It was so amazing, and it's great to receive that, because they know what your walk is like. We're always in constant touch. online, etc. And having the gift and being able to receive a gift from God through the ministry is really touching, because they said, here you are, you've been on the field, you've done but you need to have extra tools, and here we go, and they sent all these extra tools, and it's amazing. It's so everyday. It's like the books are not, they're no longer like, long ago they only show you the Bible. It's just showing you this is one of them, and this is what you call, I don't know if you could see it, but here it is.
Yeah.
He's at home, he's in the backyard, he's barbecuing and talking about redefining our lives. Each and every one of us that are born on this earth as born again children and are called are ministers.
Of
We
course.
each have a ministry. So instead of sitting in the bench at church and thinking, well, I can't wait to be a pastor. No, you don't need to wait to be a pastor. You just move along with what God is giving you, and He will bring you to that point because it's coming. It's just a
That's
matter.
my word. That's my word all the time. You
It's
don't wait
yeah.
until
It's
man
just
define who you are, because God says, "I've called
exactly.
some, and who
If
God
you if you
called
it's
he ordained."
exactly, if you go for a job, what do? Don't you work at that junior position
Mm,
until you got a promotion? Until they see, hey, wait a minute, she needs a new development.
yep.
And they pick you up and say, hey, I think you can do this, that, and the other.
Mm,
Think back on when you started with Gemfm.
mm-hmm,
You started by leaps and bounds and mistakes and,
mm-hmm.
errors. And, okay, I can't see myself. They can't see me. They can see you. You can't see them. So it's life is a learning process. And my grandfather told me that when I was about 7 years old. He says, Daphne, life is a learning experience. It's in all my books that I have. And every day of your life, you learn something new.
Every day.
E- Every minute of the day.
Mm,
Because if it's not from you, it's the grandkids, it's the son, the daughters, your friends, the neighbors, the people that you meet in the grocery stores. You learn something because then you go back to the spiritual sense and say, but God, you're truly amazing. You are so amazing. It's unbelievable. So, I'm magnified by God's greatness, His goodness, and how He unfolds things to me, So that's where we at in senses. Sensing that the world needs us. We have a role to play. We are all actors on this stage, and we have to go where we have to go. We have to do what we have to do in the location that we are in, at the stage that we are at, in order to fulfill God's wonderful word, because His word is life. He told me that a couple days back. He says, Daphne, my word is life. My word is life. And when he was saying to us, I said, God, yes, I know your word is life. He says, I'm not just talking about the life to be alive. It is life in all its essence,
mm.
in the beauty of His holiness, to see what He has out there. And therefore, as when He puts it out like that, it opens your eyes a little wider to what's around you. I heard Olivet on one of the programs, and she said, oh my goodness, look at them. They're over there on the boats. He shows you things that you don't expect to see, and you're in awe of Him. You're totally in awe of who God is. He's I remember traveling to Venezuela, and I spent 2 years there with my grandparents. They had a business there. And the first time I went there, it was like hearing the children speaking Spanish, and I can't speak Spanish. I was having a fit of the day. But children assimilate very quickly. And before you know it, I came back speaking more Spanish than English from Venezuela after 2 years. You know, so it's the same in our everyday lives. It's
Yeah.
it's I just met this person, but it takes time. Everything takes time. Like if you my Facebook page says, I said to them, there are two things: acquaintances and friends. It takes a lifetime to get a friend. But acquaintances, we have them 3,000 a dozen, not a dime a dozen. Because our world is filled with acquaintances. You meet people every day, you say hello, hi, and bye. You know, you work with colleagues and you have a working relationship. Some people, but there are people that you meet in life become very close to you. And that takes time and years and trust and caring and looking at how the person looks at you. It is not a gimme, gimme or me. It's us, we, and we look after our children. We talk about our kids. It's an environment. It's like a family environment. And that's what friendship is all about. When you really have a good friend, it's not just a friend that's, it's a friend like you could call and say, Jane, today I don't feel great, but I don't know what to do. And Jane will pray with you and leave you. You have another friend. You meet a friend, an acquaintance, and you say, hey, oh, Jennifer, guess what? I don't feel well today. And next thing you know, somebody call you and say, Jennifer, say you're sick. And she can't believe you get sick. Oh, imagine you getting sick. We don't look at the human spirit the same when you are an acquaintance as opposed to a friend. Because friends look at what you say positively, and they create a negative influence over it sometimes, many a time. I've had experiences with people, and they would say, oh, you just got promoted and you got sick. Hello. Whose body is this? Mine? It's God's. If he see fit for me to be sick, he wants to test me somewhere along the way with my sickness.
Mm.
And therefore, this is why I got sick. What have I learned from that? Even though I was sick, I went into work for 3 days, took the training program, sat at home sick for 3 more days. And guess what? When I went back out, I was ready. I was able to function without them saying, oh, well, you've been away and we have to get someone to train you. Because the Spirit of God says, while you're home, in the hours that you feel good, pick up on the notes that you got. And it's having that spiritual awareness inside of us, So that's how it is. Anyway, I know our time is almost spent, and I'm on late, and we still haven't got Minister Merle to get in. So hopefully that next Monday we can get.
I'm gonna try her because is she on Apple? We both have the same issues, but now I learned how to get on, so I'll
Yes.
call her and talk to her. I call, but a lady answer.
Maybe I give you the wrong number. That's a Florida number.
Yes.
I gave you. So maybe I give you the wrong. Remember, my phone is still not back with me. So all my phone numbers, I could miss a digit here and there. Forgive me. I repent.
You lost your phone?
Since that satellite pass, it knocked my phone off. And it's locked. And they're trying to open it, and we got it open, but by attaching it to my computer for a day, and then it disappeared again.
Okay, so
And it's not battery. I have a Samsung.
yeah, perfect. Go on Google. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put in I'm your Gmail and
No, I
everything's gonna come
did
flooded.
that. I did it, and it came up, and then it knocked it off again. Because here's what's happening in the building here. We no longer have Rogers. Bell has kicked everybody off. So in my home, we have 2 sets of cables. One belonging to
Right.
Rogers,
I wanted Bill.
that's functional, and one belonging to Bell that they're waiting for us to say, could we hook it up? And I'm saying, well, I know Tex had hell on earth with them, And I said to them, until you tweak, then call. You know, I said, because it doesn't make sense giving a service and every 2 minutes it goes up and down with you, you know. And he said to me, the reason why we had the interruptions and sometimes the connections is because they have been testing their equipment over hours.
Yeah, the 5G.
Yes, and they're testing all day. Today you know, I was outside for a little bit earlier on, and guess what? They were out there with the van still testing. I said, how could you be testing for so long? They, I
So
think
there
what
is
they're
one
trying.
man that you can call. This one man, he fixed the whole of this place. So now I have Rogers there and Bell here.
Well, that's what we have. I have Rogers here, and then we have Bell upstairs on the top on the upper floor. But the thing about it is, um, I'm still waiting to see the tweaks on it. You know, at least so far so good. I haven't been kicked off or as you notice, the internet is not unstable here, but I guess with Zoom it could be unstable. So based on that, um, that's where we're at with that. But to all our guests, we're talking about, you know, the things that happen in life, you know. We're prepared to go to some place and then something happens and we don't know how to address it in the natural or
Mhm.
how to look at it from the spiritual eyes. And we have to be able to do that in both senses, you know what it's about, know how, you know, how to really maneuver our lives in this time and age that we're in. So I hope that some of the little nuggets, it's not too many nuggets today because we didn't get enough time to give you all the nuggets, but I will be putting on the community dateline on Facebook page the things that we do on our program, and that's where I also add on my community dateline my wisdom center page, my image connections. Well, image connections is mostly historical information about Africans and my ancestry, but I certain programs that we have, I place it on those platforms. So I do get back my feedback, which is really really good, you know.
Uh, the gentleman we were talking about the other day, could you text me his name? So I could learn to pronounce his name.
Which one?
The one that you got the award from.
In Africa?
Yes.
Okay, my award came from the African Peace magazine,
Okay.
and the
But
gentleman, is it Addison Cibola you talking about,
was it the Governor General, something like that?
or the chief?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Chief Tony. Okay, I'll get his last name. It's a very long name now.
Yeah, so I have to learn to pronounce their names now. So I'm getting into the word of just putting it on Google. Google, just say this word. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm.
So it breaks it up it breaks it up in five phrases for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll get his long name for you. You know, because I have two awards, but I have from the Black Canadian organization here, right? Black Canadian Awards. That was one of my awards as well. But he's African, but he lives in Toronto. So that's
Oh, he live here.
yeah. And we actually have a community program where we train people and we send them out to different places. I haven't been on to meetings for a while now because since COVID came and I had a bad cold, I haven't been on. But I've done a lot of projects and projections with them. We strategize. It's just, you know, our meetings are held at the legislature in Toronto.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the meetings are sometimes once a month or once every 2 months. But it's a global organization. They also in Trinidad. They're not in Grenada though. I spoke to the woman in Trinidad. She was one of the former prime minister's wife, so she heads that leg of it. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So how does one get on those programs?
I think I'm going
Is
to
it a
start.
friend of a friend?
So hold on. I'm going to start getting our people on Gemfm involved in a lot of stuff. I hope you all don't mind. And as long as you keep your
Integrity.
no, not it's not the integrity. I know we all have that. I wouldn't go there with Christians, because if a Christian comes to me without integrity, I'm going to say, where did you come from? I'll be asking the question, like, who are you? You know, but in the sense that I'm saying, putting you out there so that you would ensure that GMFM is fed first, because they take your time. I'm telling you about these organizations that I'm involved with. If you don't tell them no, like I tell them, it says Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, leave me alone. If you go on any of the government boards, my email's up to 40,000 right now. And I've already taken off 8,000 of the emails. Every day, every minute of the day, you can get an email. It will
Yep.
tell you, we're doing this. Could you do a survey? We're going to put in a policy that we're going to give the children money for, and we're going to add up we're going to increase the money. And, that's how it is. But community-wise, we are on Community Dateline. We could talk about things that affect our community as well. Baby bonus is going to be increased this month again.
I think I should get pregnant.
You say you can't deal with more than one. Could you imagine now at 45 giving you a baby? Lord, I am not coming to help. And please do not come and don't come on with your hands to your head.
Well, I'm gonna say, this is your auntie who is much younger than me.
And
Just
she's gonna look after you. Listen to
yeah,
me.
I'll put them on
To
the
my
ticket
list
price.
to my listening audience. I'm a grandmother. It seems as though I'm one of those grandmothers that my children believe that I should have the grandkids more times than they do have them. And then when they get upset with the mom for any little thing, if she's not giving them the right cereal, I'm going to Nana's. I am going by Nana. I'm like, Lord. And then I'd hear him say, so why do you think I give you grandkids? Because you can handle them. Why did I give you a daycare center? Because you can handle it. And so when I go back to these things, Minister Tex, and to my audience, when things fall in your lap, it's because he up there knows that you can handle it.
Yep,
You
yep,
have to
yep.
just settle yourself and say, listen, whoever you are, if you don't know him as God, whoever you are, help me to understand what you just put in my lap. And it will make all the difference in the world. In every situation, whether you know him or not, he's already in each and every one of us. It's one of the things I wanted to tell you. And I don't know if I have it here, but you know how they had the Old Testament names, Balaam and Balak? I will give you the modern day names.
Okay.
They have modern day names.
Mm.
What we the spirit of Balaam, Balak and all of that. You'll be surprised to know who they are today in terms of language. Some are Asian, some are Middle Eastern. I was like, this is how I addressed it when I went through that program. I was like, my mouth is open, my eyes was widened first, and then my mouth open, and I'm like, huh? Is that what it is now? I could not fathom it. I could not fathom it. You'll be surprised to know. I just put on to know some of the things. I don't know if I could find. Oh, let's see. Let me try and figure it out for you. I want you to hear something that it threw me off so much in the program that I did not know which way to go. I'm like, what? These are the names? Yes, those are the names. And we're saying, remember Balaam and remember Balak. and all of them. And when you hear the names today, you'll be surprised to know it's the same people we talk. Okay, so here this one, and we're closing with this. So when we think of our modern day people that we are looking at, it says, "O thou mighty force, who is known by many names, Baal, Molech, Pharaoh." Today it will be Allah, Buddha, Shinto. We are unworthy of asking for anything from you. And that's how their prayers would go. So these are the people in our modern day. These are the nations that are carrying on that. So we have, these are the nations. Pray for the nations, the Buddhists, the Shintos, and those that call Allah. Because they came from Baal, Molech, and Pharaoh. And I was like, what? When I read it, I was like, and then I went into something that a website that we have as pastors, and I found it. And it came from one of the old scrolls of
Text
writing.
me the website.
It's okay. It's the ministry that I became a pastor from. It's their website. You know, yeah. So I'm going to ask. I'll ask for permission. See
Yes,
if I
we
can
have
get
that.
you on.
We have
But
that.
they do have ministerial programs as well, and you have to be referred. A lot of them are referred. So I know I got my package told me what and what they want me to do on my end as part of my ministry with them is to get new ministers going. The meat is good. The spiritual meat is very, very good. It will be so fulfilling you wouldn't realize that it's it you know what it does? It humbles you.
Does.
It makes you that little child that you were once, to realize that God have all of this for his children. And
Amen.
that's, listen to my grandson. He's got the TV as loud for all the neighbors on to hear. Okay. Yeah. So it's the things that we have to start doing as a community, as a body. Gemfm is going places, and so are everyone on the platform. And I am praying that the people that hear us from Gemfm know that we're here not in just body, we're here in spirit, in soul. We're here in the carnal, looking after your issues. If there's an issue that needs to be up here, we have to start thinking of how are we going to do charitable work for the communities. Are we going to feed people? I did it on my very own every Wednesday for years.
Yes, for
um,
years, man.
for
It's been
years.
years. Yeah.
And you meet people in the Barry, and they would ask you, do you are you the lady that brought food on a Wednesday? And I was like, where? Because I could be any lady out there, and when they tell me of the location, I know who they've been there. So it's humbling, and it brings you down to that place in Christ that
Mm-hmm.
that when you see Jesus could stand in the desert and kneel down and pray in the Garden of Gethsemane. It makes you that humble.
Amen.
It's not an elevation, but it's a humbling experience. And I like the humbling experience because
Yes.
when you're humble, you feel the Spirit of God more and more and more.
And brings you
It's
to
so
that
sometimes
place.
it's powerful, and it shakes you, it breaks you, it molds you, it bends you, and it molds you. So I enjoy that.
Mm.
You know, like when I meet people that I knew from Carabiner and different government offices, and they say, "Oh my gosh, you still have that air about you, but you still have that humbling, humility about, because this is what it does to you. You cannot feel more than, better than.
Mm-hmm.
You are enough because he is enough in you.
Amen.
Yeah. So, my dear audience, remember text Manwarren, my co-host and partner, my big sister, she says. And all the programs herself and Olivet, Veronica, Pastor Fleming,
Doris,
Doris, um,
Rebecca.
Rebecca, Sister Charmaine. I think I've seen her on. I try to remember names. I remember names. I'm not bad with names, but our founder and owner, Brother John Callis and his wife, Nataki, in the background, doing all the tech work. We give you thanks and we continue to pray for your strength because the strength of God is in each of us and He will give you strength to multitask and not even feel the weight and the heaviness of how much we do. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And don't forget to tune into Text and the other programs. I get bumped into a lot of them, but Brother John will send me a short email. Sometimes I don't see it, and he says, "Oh, get in on the line." And then when I send him a message and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I just saw it," and then I'll pop in. But it's nice to have that relationship, and we want Community DATELINE to be not modern day media platform, but the platform that is family oriented, it's grassroots oriented, down to earth. We are approachable people, and if you see some of us out there and wondering in the eventual, our equipment will change, but in the meantime, when you see someone taking pictures, if you ask them and they're from Gemfm, you know very well they are actually bona fide, and it's not someone doing something that they're not supposed to. Because sometimes when you're out there, I have to say, God, just cover her, because people would see her taking pictures and wonder, people are strange. Human beings are strange, especially in this dispensation. So that Father God, He covers everywhere that we go. So thanks again,
I
everyone.
met a lot of nice people, and we're doing it today again. And we're going somewhere again. Yeah, yesterday we did it twice.
You got to come on my end. On my end, there's some nice places to go.
Oh
Real,
my
real
God,
nice.
that'd be nice.
I will talk to you offline about it. But there's
Yeah,
some real nice places. Like if you go to the Jack Darling Park, you can pull it up. You will enjoy it. It's right on the water. The ducks are there. There's a marina right there.
oh,
You can even go to the marina for coffee. Okay.
oh,
It's right on the waterfront, and the down here in Terrace Street at the bottom right by the lake, it's coffee shops
yeah.
and also then you have the athletes who are rowing. You will
Mm,
see them there too. They practice there. So they come from the water into the river, like the Humber River that goes right
mm.
into water. It's really an amazing, and you can sit there. There's a big library there. It's a lot of exciting things in the West as well.
What I love is that people love the water. Anything that you do with the water and scenery, like and if you're going through a walk path, they just love these things. Doris loved the water, so I
I
love to
love the
go
boardwalks
by the
and
water.
the boardwalks.
Yeah,
You have to go down to the Harborfront BIA and walk along that
yeah.
edge. It's
I was down there
amazing.
yesterday.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I saw the boardwalk and I thought, is she in the BIA? So.
yeah, yeah. I was.
Okay, but it's nice. In the West, it's the same thing. If you're going to the beaches, it's pretty much the same. You get some nice places to go, and there's a lot of things in
Hugh,
between.
Ontario. Yeah, I can go to the end of Hugh, Ontario, and then head out. When I go down, I can turn right.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I can go down there right at that.
and you will start seeing. You could see the water passing under the bridge,
Yes, yes, yes. I
and
know where it is.
but pull up Jack Darling Park. It's a beautiful park. There's
Mhm,
a lot of parks along there that the children go to, and they
mhm.
spend the day. You could sit on your blankets and enjoy, and they can, and there's a lot of space for them to run, free.
Oh,
But when I saw you yesterday, I popped in a few different times, and I said, we have to cover the whole of the waterfront. Also, there's a warning. I don't know if I sent it to you, but if you go to Chatham, please don't go too close to the water. The sharks have been coming into the shallow waters now. Yeah.
wow.
We're in that time. We're in this dispensation. Remember, the earth is moving and it's
But how
digging.
shark coming
And
on the
there,
island?
and it's not the Atlantic Ocean. So
Yeah.
we you know what time it is in the spiritual. Think about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
wow. Okay.
so they have a big sign up. I sent it to Brother John. They have a sign up telling you beware.
Mm,
Huge ones. Even aware they've been tagging them. One left all the way in Nova Scotia.
wow. But to come into the climate of this water.
Yeah. We are in a different listen, we're close to the next edge. The next
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, these are the signs. And I say, when you see the signs, know what time it is,
Mm, mm,
Yeah. So one of my friends, she ran for political office from from Ottawa area.
mm.
And she's a lawyer, and she sent it to me, and I said, oh my gosh. She says, Daphne, we go down, we can't even tell the children to go in anymore. So now the sons are just graduated from college, and so I said, thank God they're older now, but it's the younger ones going out there, and shark bites are very difficult, simply because
Yeah.
you must have first aid to stop that blood. Those to create that. The first aid tourniquets where you hold the blood from flowing out. So and especially when they get bites everywhere, because those sharks coming and they're coming for purpose.
Mm.
So keep that in mind while you're there dipping your feet in the water. Make sure you look
Oh no,
first.
that's something I don't do.
Well, that's what I do first. I dip my feet in the water.
No. Mm.
Yeah.
Those legs of mine just not going there. For
Oh
that
no,
type
I
of
always
thing,
get in
I
the
gotta
water.
see everything from a distance in order to push. But
But you
no.
don't see them because they stay under the shadow of the clouds under the water. So you don't see them
Well,
until they raise their head up.
yeah,
So
I would be safe. Me will be safe. I don't even
well,
like to walk on the sand. That's to tell you how safe I will be.
oh no, I
There,
love the
for
sand. I
sure.
dig my feet in the sand. It's healing to put your feet on the sand.
It grosses me out.
It's healing. Listen to me. Why do you think the natives walk on grass or the
Yeah,
sand?
because of the
Because
grounding. Yeah,
no, because remember, it detoxifies you.
it does. It
All right.
does.
So
But I just don't. It just grosses me out to put my feet on the ground. It just
it's all right. One of
it
the,
does
one of
wrong
these
things.
do like I think it's Doris is who
All
was
of it
Olivet who had a phobia
of the
of
water.
water, and then she
No,
got
not
over.
all of it.
Who said they couldn't go in the water? It had to be one of the ladies on
Probably
the.
me. Probably me.
No,
The
it
way
wasn't you. It's Olivet. It's either Olivet or Doris talked about it,
all of it.
because she said she couldn't go into a boat because of the water.
Oh,
So
I'm not
it's
too sure.
it's it's all these phobias. We'll get over the phobias, you
Yeah.
know. So anyway, it was nice. We miss Minister Merle. I miss you, Merle, if you're looking and you're able, but she can't even get on, so she can't even see. But
Mm-mm.
on the replay, we miss you, and we hope to see you soon. Minister Tex, I'm going to send her the link again to her.
Mhm.
Have a great day, each and
Or
every.
send my number to her so she can call me.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I have to go. I'll have to go on your messenger page and find your number, because I have no contacts unless I can search for them. I'm telling you, I have come back again. I says, you know what? I bought a nice notebook, and I'm going to get my what copy? My hard copy. I'm not depending on no phone anymore because I know what time it is. Make sure I have my candles, my flashlights. You don't know what day.
You
You
see,
know.
my thing is I sync everything and all my devices, and then I sync into Google. So all my
Yeah, but the
contacts
thing
is
is,
on my
if
email.
if we have an outage, you have no evidence that you have a phone.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Notebook, notebook. I'm gonna go in the dollar store today and I'm
No, no,
gonna
no.
write.
Listen, watch me. I buy a whole stack of them. See these? Look at me.
Uh-huh.
And I start writing numbers like I'm going crazy. Okay?
I'm gonna
Because if
start doing
something
that because I don't even know my husband number offhand. Hear
and you
me.
need to know,
What's
and
his
you
number
need to
again?
not it's not even that, you know what it is? It's addresses. Where do they live?
Uh,
When we have outages and we know of some little old lady like myself, how are you going to find me? Oh my gosh.
that never crossed my mind.
Listen, it crossed my mind when my phone went out. So out there, if you're out there and you're hearing us, please get your matches, your candles,
Yeah, they keep saying that. I'm gonna get some of
and
that
your
too.
the old-fashioned can opener that we always say, oh, that's some way back when.
Oh, this one?
That one, and the one that you have to, you know, make sure you have a pot that can go on a coal pot, like if they know what I'm talking about.
Dutch pots.
The A Dutch pot that can go on on a coal pot,
Mhm.
you
I
know.
have to buy a coal pot. I keep saying
No,
that I have to get a coal pot.
my aunt is sending me one, you know, a new one that they make. It looks like a little oven underneath.
Hmm.
So you could put wood in it and you could cook like when you go in camp. And it's good. You know what it is good to get? It's like everybody out there. If you go to your hardware store, look for camping equipment. The lamp, you know, the lamp, the this, the that. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's important because even if we don't have electricity, you can get oil and get the wicks, and it will burn.
Hmm.
So
It's
you'll
a
have
good idea.
some yeah, you have to have survival skills. And so we have to do all of that for people out there because you don't know, we know. We have no idea where people are. Um, because when you don't, when all these things happen, your cars stop and what have you. And they did say we have a, remember, Russia has threatened America.
Russia, please. Canada have done you no wrong. Please leave us alone, please.
We
I
are
beg. Canada,
we are the border cousins. You know,
no, we're very quiet. Lord,
no, we are sisters. We are sisters. We're
no,
part of.
we're not sister. We're not sisters. We're not cousins. If America opened their mouth, please, world, know that Canada is not their first cousin, sister, or friend. We are quiet people. Please.
We are,
Only
and
Americans
we do
are
have,
my brothers.
we do have quiet people in the United States as well.
No, 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 no. When America talk,
Oh God.
Russia, we promise we're gonna get a big saw and we're gonna cut America off, and we're gonna stay over here. Please don't do us nothing, please.
So do keep things on hand so that if there's
Yes, we
darkness,
will.
you're able to find your way. You know, get some batteries. You know, for the interim, and also have make sure you have candles. And you know those big candles you buy for display. Those last a long time. They're slow burning and
Oh, I have to go to IKEA. I'm not gonna pick up two giant ones.
mhm. And they could last you a good 3 weeks. You know.
Oh, those ones. No, I want to buy the big one that could last for 6 months. Those big
Yeah,
ones.
that too. Yeah, because it's slow burning. So
Mm-hmm.
keep these things in mind. We're safe under the shelter of his wings, but at the same time,
Yeah,
the enemy
gotta use wisdom. Yeah.
and prince of the power of the air is right there and right below between him and us.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be prepared. So have a
Mm-hmm.
great Friday and the
Yes.
weekend. Blessings
Yes.
to all, and hope to see the three of us on Monday, God's willing. Have a great
Amen.
day, and please tune into all the other programs and enjoy the beauty of Gemfm and
Amen.
Genesis Magazine.
Amen.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
You're welcome.